And that's about it. We're going to just hang a little bit of a right and just head down the row here, looking to pick up, I think we need to get to about Alpha 9er, and then we can head out towards 28 right. Alright, well, welcome aboard, everybody. So glad you were able to join me. For those of you that stopped by earlier and saw the 727 test, thanks for coming back. This will be distinctly shorter. We made it halfway. We were flying Boston or LA to Boston just to test things out earlier today, and that, like I say, the test was successful for the most part, although I did run out of fuel, and I thought I could cheat and go up to the X-Plane menu and just add fuel back in, but the FlyJSim doesn't like that, and so it didn't work. I ran out of fuel and had to set her down somewhere in Ohio. I made a pretty good belly landing, though. It even said on the it even said that it was a good landing. Wyoming kids are pretty smart and savvy, yeah. Well, and Dick Cheney is, I mean, he's Wyoming, kind of like out-of-state rich people think they're Wyoming, but they really aren't. So, you know. All right, we are a stuttery son of a gun right now. I tell you what, this is Aerosoft heavy hitter add-on and Dojevsky design, Chicago O'Hare, and it's just going to really be a little bit of a low frame rate booger as we head out here. Yeah, you know, that was the worst part about the whole landing, is I lost hydraulic pressure, so I couldn't even put the landing gear down. There's probably a way to do it manually, but I didn't have time to really look it up. I was trying to get things started again, and just wasn't able to. And I also flew past really several airfields on the way. I could have, again, I didn't know that they were there per se, but probably could have landed. I need Bravo. Is this Bravo? I need Bravo. Might be going too far here. Might be going too far. Not a lot of traffic today, though, at O'Hare, so we're in pretty good shape. What am I on? Tango? All of a sudden, my moving maps is not moving anymore. But anyway, we set her down halfway gentle. Did take out a couple of power poles or something there, and did eventually catch fire. I think we kind of skipped up and over the top of an interstate viaduct and caught fire. So it was not pretty. All right, just trying to get a sense for where we're at here. If we're on Tango, we're in good shape. We'll come down here, pick up November, and we'll be heading in the right direction. 143, is that what it was, TD? I didn't catch a final in terms of the frame rates, but it felt okay. I'm sure the maintenance report is not going to be pretty, because I just turned, there's that option to turn maintenance on, so I don't know, I'm going to have to go back in, and I don't know what the process is to fix that, but I guess I'm going to learn about it. Alright. Okay, so we're down on November here until we get to Yankee. And then at that point in time, we are ready to rock and roll. Right now, Siva is saying we're ready to go 0 to 1. It's 98 miles. And that pretty well checks out. We're going to fly this first leg, though, via radio navigation, just as we kind of get ourselves heading out. And we will use, I think we use, yeah, 108.25. Actually, no, I'll tune in Gipper. But first, let's find Yankee. Make sure we don't overshoot this thing here. We're coming up on it. Not quite yet. Boy, those clouds look kind of ominous out there in the the horizon, don't they? Holy cow. We'll be climbing out through that stuff. We've got the anti-ice on and we should be ready to go. Golf, golf. I think we're getting close. Alright, do I have my camera views set up? I think I do. Yes, I do. Alright. Here comes Yankee, I believe. Yes, indeed. Alright, we will just kind of make our final checks here and be on our way. Tune in one for the Gipper. Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah. Alright, this one is for you, Jet Pilot Cinnamon. Look at how far short of that hold short line I'm staying. Alright, before takeoff checklist, we need to get the lights over to landing. We can even put the retracts on here. And everything else looks good there. Altimeter, altitude, heading, all checked. We'll set that, make sure that heading knob is lined up once we get on there just to double check. And main fuel pumps, feed only. Yep. We're ready to go. O'Hare traffic, United 307. We're lining up runway 28 right. We'll be departing left-hand traffic, IFR eastbound. O'Hare traffic. Just get one last call in before we go. I haven't heard anybody talking at all.
O'Hare traffic, United for Charlie, please be advised we're 12 miles from Adam. Expecting ILS approach 28 right.
Okay, United. United 307 will be out of your way. We're going to be departing 28 right, and we're on the roll.
No problem, sir. Just wanted to let you know where we were.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, no, can't be horsing around. Time to rock and roll. And it should be a fairly quick departure for us, a fairly quick takeoff, that is. Rotation speed is just a shade over 120. He's 12 miles out, so that's, you know, that's easily 4 or 5 minutes. Get lined up. All right, that looks pretty good. Here we go, boys and girls. Throttles up, 4 good engines. Takeoff power set, airspeed already up to V1. There's rotation. Like I said, we're pretty light today. Didn't take us much to get rolling. Positive rate, gear coming up. Heading mode is engaged. There's 3,000. At this point we get a check-in with ATC. They would tell us to turn left. They would probably climb us up to at least probably 230, I would guess. So we'll just spin that up to 170. We'll make our left-hand turn here. 180. And Chicago traffic, United 307. We're clear of runway 28 right. Did I not get my heading? Oh, I didn't get that heading select turned on. That's okay.
Thank you very much. They said we're at 6 miles out, Chicago traffic over Island.
Safe landings, Captain.
Safe flight.
All right, so we are, look at that, 5,000 feet a minute on the climb out. Ooh. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. See you later, Chicago O'Hare. My goodness gracious. That's pretty. Once we get down through, or up through 10,000, I should say, we will go ahead and drop that nose just a little bit. And we want to pick up airspeed. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we want airspeed here of about 300. So let's go ahead. We'll roll the nose down just a little bit. Climb power is pretty well set. And we'll just let the VSI come down in between 1 and 2,000 feet a minute. We'll keep an eye on the speed here. We'll go ahead and we'll complete our turn. Actually, we need to get this guy. Let's get this guy tuned in here. I'll double check, make sure. I don't know that I set him. What do I need here? Gipper. Did I get him 1540? No, I didn't get him in there. 1540. He alive? Yes, he is alive. All right. We need to turn back to the east. Right there. We'll be cleared direct. Gipper, climb and maintain. It would probably tell us 390. We just put a couple more thousand in here just so we don't level out. Complete our turn here. Be somewhere in that neighborhood, and almost up to 3,000 feet, or sorry, 300 knots or miles per hour. I can't remember. We'll get up there. Try to hold that as far up as we can. Once we get up above 20,000 is when it starts to get to be a little bit of a challenge. All right, flaps up. Gear is up. We're through 10,000. Lights can be turned off. Keep the anti-ice on just as we're passing through some more clouds. Try not to overspeed here if we can help it. Get that nose pointed back up and take advantage while we can. There we go. Now it's kind of starting to come back down a little bit here, but we're up through 160, climbing out 3,500 feet per minute or so. All right, very nice. So far, so good. There's 180. Let's get the standard baro set. Now, once we get down close to 300 miles an hour, we'll try to get that climb down to more like about 2,000 feet per minute. That's a little bit on the top end of the climb once we get a little bit higher, but we'll try to keep that climb going as long as we can. All right. How is everybody doing? Hopefully your Tuesday was great. We're not quite 100% lined up with this VOR, are we? That's going to be pretty close. Let's flip it in. Let's see how much of a change we need to make here. We're 50.
Oh, yeah, traffic,
52 miles out. Uh-oh. We do the old outbound, inbound. I think we might have. What have I done here? What have I done? Oh, I have. I tuned the wrong. Tune the outbound when I should have tuned the inbound. No, the inbound when I should tune the outbound. There we go. Let's see if this works a little better. We'll just make sure that we're rocking the passengers to sleep. Kenny's farming and making supper. How does one do both at the same time, Kenny? You folks from Minnesota, you're resourceful. All right, so here's what we're looking at, ladies and gents. Oh, Farm Sim. Brats in the oven. Gotcha. So when we get to Kipper, then we have to turn a little bit to the north on a 082. Track that outbound. So I'll have that set kind of ready to go right here. There's 80, 1, 2. Boy, we're really crabbing into the wind right now. One thing I forgot to do here is I like to set this one for the distance to the next waypoint, 36 miles. Does that match up? Yep, 36 miles. And I like to set this one to the wind, 260 at 80. Wow, we are really getting blown around here. 260 at 80, but it's a helping wind, so I'll tell you what, we're going to be to Boston in no time. Air, is your light empty load? $450 horses and nothing to haul right now. That's no good, man. Okay, are we on? Yep. VOR localizer is on. And we're on the radial now. There we go. Much more, much better, much better. Alright, let's get... I gotta get my flight route back into the Navigraph here real quick. Just about ready to turn Mr. Siva on. Make sure I stay in line. What are you going somewhere? Downwind? Alright, so as soon as we get past this waypoint, by the way, we will stay on the radio navigation just for a little bit. I want to make sure this switches over to from 1 to 2 so I know that we're in good shape, and then we'll pop it over to INS and we'll let the Siva handle things. Oh yeah, since he's in my neck of the woods, he really is only a couple of hours south of where I live, actually, which in Wyoming terms really is just around the block. we literally are the next town up the road from Rawlins to the north, and as is Rawlins is our next town to the south. So I'm a loose goose. Yes, I am. I'm named after a goose. Well, I'm named after a duck, actually. Lease geese, moose meese. All of a sudden, a Dr. Seuss book broke out. All right, my speed's getting down there around 250. I don't want to go much slower than that. Let's get the nose down. We did make it up through 30,000, so that's really good. We're going to bring this guy down here to 1,000 feet per minute or so. My EPR is climbed. What do I need to have that on? What's my climb out EPR? What did I say? What did I say? Cruise is one. Cruise is max climb is supposed to be 176. All right, so I'm pushing it maybe a little too hard here, guys. 176. Should have been what I was climbing at. All right, so we'll bring that power down just a bit. Now I've kind of reduced my climb to only 500 feet per minute. See if I can recapture a little bit of that speed. We're starting to get a little wobbly because we're getting close to the VOR. Here at the Travel America. Every day, yeah. I know that place. All right, actually we've went past, I think, so let's make this adjustment. We're supposed to be and we did go from 1 to 2, so that's good. Let's kick the INS. Actually, I'm going to kick this back to heading just for a moment. Let's turn the INS on. Let's see how far off we are. Not too bad, honestly, not too bad. Let's just come this way a little bit. Kind of get ourselves heading in the right direction. We're through 330 and we're holding 250, so I can live with that. And then we just need to click this guy down to auxiliary navigation. And yep, it's going to make a little bit of a correction here to the left. Get on our track. And that, boys and girls, is how you do that. What? You got a new Diamond TA62? There is the Hound. You are a dog. Grand Teton, yep. Cross country up to Jackson Hole. That flight between Bozeman and Jackson Hole is an awesome flight. You could hit West Yellowstone kind of on your way down. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, so we are on 113 miles to our next waypoint, which is what is it? Carlton, Charlie Romeo Lima. And I'll go ahead and put 15.7 in there just to have some redundancy. Yep. So that those should match up. They do. And yeah, just in case, you never know, one might fail, or I may have an incorrect latitude and longitude in for one of the waypoints. So good to have redundancy. All right, we're through 340 now. Like I said, getting all the way up to 390. It takes a little bit of work. Nudge that nose up just a little bit. Let's see if we can keep it at 250 or better. We can get it down to about 230 and still recover. And what happens in this plane is if you get down too close to 200, it starts to pitch up to the point where you literally can't gain enough airspeed back to right it. You have to nose down, you have to lose altitude, and kind of do the old, roller coaster thing. So it's best to keep the speed as long as you can, just for that reason. It's best to climb at 500 instead of 700 if it means you're going to keep your speed. And we're just right at 250. Definitely losing a little bit of steam here. So I have made an executive decision, I guess. So there's been 2 flights that have been a part of this 20-day celebration that I did not get to finish, and I want to fly those suckers. So I'm going to attempt to get caught up on. One of them is the FlyJ Sim flight from Baltimore. Might have been ironically Baltimore up to, no, it was Atlanta up to Baltimore. It was last Friday night. So I'm going to fly that again. And then, of course, last night we were in the DC-3, and I was trying to fly from Santa Barbara up to North Las Vegas. So I want to fly that one again as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done during the course of the 20-day celebration or not, because I'm kind of running out of time, and yeah, but anyway, we will definitely come back to those flights. Try to get them completed. Fingers crossed, everything will work right. Boy, yesterday everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The stream was laggy, had a super long delay on the ground, and then of course the sim crash. But fortunately, I was able to get under the hood with a couple of guys that knew more than I did, and we did some repair work. Thank you, Downwind Sim, again for that. It was really, really nice of you. West Seal was another one from the Virtual USA Flying Club, and Jet Pilot Cinnamon were the 3 yahoos that helped me change the Fetzer valve in the bypass line last night. Put some new Quaker State in. CSLs, man. They're going to be the death of us, aren't they? Alright, through 370, we're getting a little bit slower. I am going to go ahead and bring the nose back down. We'll take 500 feet a minute for this last little bit. Can't get any slower than this though. In fact, we may have to even come down a little bit more. I'll take a stair-step approach if I have to. Level off and gain speed again, and then just climb that last little bit if we have to. And I could even push it a little bit past the continuous climb, as long as I don't get past the max takeoff EPR. I think I'd be just fine. As I look at my pressures and temperatures here, yeah, I'm well within range there. What's it look like over here? Yeah, RPMs are still have a little bit of wiggle room. I think I may nudge that up just a little tiny bit here. Same thing happened to me in the 727. Long wait on the ground to depart. Got going and crashed. Maybe it's the sim equivalent of an engine that taxis or that idles for a long time on the ground, failing after you get in the air. I don't know. Okay, here we go. 380 should get that 1,000 to go. Alert. There it is. 1,000 to go. Looks like we're going to be able to maintain that speed just fine. Once we level out, then we can back it off. Let's see, our continuous climb was we said 167. The max cruise is 181. So I'm going to go ahead and just spin that up, 181. And again, that's max cruise. Yeah, so we're a little over that right now. A little over that. We'll stay there for just another little bit. We'll be ready here in just a second to back it off. We're making really good ground speed. I can only imagine. I mean, again, look at the wind over here, 255 at 104. So it's almost directly at our backs. We've got to be really rolling, I'm telling you what. Okay, after takeoff checklist, let's take a peek here. I do have we're over 180. I've got the standard barrel on. I've got all the lights off. I've got the continuous ignition off. We are on INS right now. We actually could turn off the ice protection. We are definitely up and above all that good stuff. That'll help us a little bit. Turn that off. We'll keep the probe heat and the windshield heat on, as well as the anti-ice heaters here, stall warning and all that good stuff. Another 300 feet to go till we are at cruise. In the meantime, we can go ahead and start to take care of our outboard auxiliary fuel. We're going to pump this into that. And we're going to unload that fuel strategically for flight. It's, as I understand it, and I'm not an expert here, but you unload that fuel kind of from the outer parts of the wings into the center, and that gives you the most stable cruise, as well as it's best structurally for the aircraft. Welcome back. So we do need to be down, like I said, 11,000 at Bronx, which is 49 miles. No, 29 miles from Revere, 40 miles from Gardner. So as we get a little closer, we're almost to Albany. I think we're going to start our way down. I'll go ahead and preset that altitude. If we get there a little early, that's not the worst thing in the world. Except for the fact that we're going to be in the icing conditions a little bit longer. So I don't want to get heading down too quickly. In fact, I think I might wait till we get to Albany. I can always extend that downwind a little bit more if I need to. Yeah, that's a bummer. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Man, now we've got the whole northeast corner lit up here, except for Boston. And you get spoiled. I saw that you posted that, Kenny. I haven't had a chance to watch it just yet. Icy runways. Ah, now I am intrigued, my friend. I am intrigued. All right, here's the other thing we have to pay attention to. When we hit Albany, the next waypoint is actually Boston. So it's going to turn us, and instead of heading us on the arrival, it'll turn us direct to Boston. So we need to make sure that we jump back off the INS, back to radio navigation, and pick up that correct course heading. Let's make sure we have it. Okay, so once we hit Albany, we need to be outbound on a 111 for just a couple of minutes. 43 miles on a 111. What do I have set here? 110, 111 right there. 43 miles, about halfway, and then we pick up the 294 into Gardner. Ah, interesting. Yeah, that approach, man, getting that power setting just right is the key. Yeah, we're going to shoot the ILS today, if you're talking to us, Eris. But you're right, Kenny, you just got to be patient. Unless you've got a deck crew that can stretch one of those wires out across for you, so you can just slap that tail hook down and let the steam power do the work for you. Well, there's got to be a way to simulate that somehow, doesn't there? There's got to be a carrier or something, carrier add-on that you can buy for that will let you do that. I agree. I think that would be a kick in the butt, especially if the ship was like pitching and rolling a little bit, you know, like a regular ship would be. That would be a lot of fun. All right, let's take a look here. We need, let's take a look at our fuel. Let's see how that's gone. We probably have those outboards. Yep, those outboards are empty. That's just what we want. That's awesome. And fuel quantities match up. So we did a good job of managing that. And we have 5,000 times 4, 20,000 pounds of fuel, plenty to get us into Boston. And if we have to divert, we're diverting to JFK. So that'd be plenty to get us to JFK as well. Yeah, and I've seen them, Kenny. I can confirm. I just don't know if any of those have the wires, the arresting wires. Yeah, go down, and I think the last ones I saw go down around Hawaii and fly around there. There's some Edinburgh. Okay, yeah, Edinburgh's Scotland. Yep. All right, we're just about to. In fact, I think we will. Let's head to heading mode. Let's click this guy back to radio navigation. We'll start to make our turn. I am going to go ahead and track the outbound. Right over the top of the VOR right now, so it's going to take just a second for it to pop out the other side. But I'm going to pull the power back as well. We need to start slowing down. There's the VOR. Looks like we need to keep her coming a little bit. Whoops. Keep the turn going a little bit. Okay, we'll get the speed under 250, and then we'll start our descent. And I'm looking for about 2,000 feet per minute. Let's give it a couple clicks. Let's, oops, I clicked it the wrong way. Let's descend, shall we? We've done enough climbing for one day. Comes our VOR. Into the turbulence. All right, that's gonna be pretty close, I think. There we go, right there. Hold off for a minute while we pick up the VOR. Actually, no, I've got a second. Let's come back up here. Let's put the anti-ice back on here. Alright, all the rest of this stuff is turned on. And alright, there's the VOR. Track this outbound. 43.8 miles. And then we can tune in Gardner, which is 110.6. And then after Gardner, 20 miles after Gardner, we need to be down to 11,000. And the difference for us today on this Gardner 4 arrival is we're gonna fly to Revere like the arrival says, but we're gonna just stay on that heading and vector ourselves around right-hand traffic pattern style to runway 32 for an ILS approach. Plane's kind of doing a little bit of a lazy, kind of in and out, kind of a S-turn type of VOR lock here. That's not great, but we're generally on the right path. I have no idea traffic-wise. Of course, you don't hear anything until you get kind of up there closer to it, because the 2280 only has a range of 20 miles. What's Boston, Logan? 10 arrivals, or 10 departures, 9 arrivals. So we'll have to coordinate a little bit here. Hopefully everybody knows that they're landing tree left. Okay, anything else here descent-wise? Alright, so that's the arrival briefing. We're going to get down to, let's brief that arrival here. So we've crossed Albany. Our goal is to be down at 11,000 at Bronx. We're going to go ahead and hold 11,000 until Revere. We're going to stay on this outbound track. We're going to hold this, and then we're going to, after we pass Revere, we will descend and prepare for the ILS arrival, runway 33 left. We need to be 4,000 at Ben. The localizer is 110.7, approach course 330. We have a sea level elevation, and if we go mist, climb and make a right hand turn, climb 1,500, then turn right to 3,000, and out there on the Boston VOR radio 030, we'll get out here to Waxon and hold. And actually what we will do is we will climb 1,500, we'll make a right hand turn, and we'll re-enter the pattern and make another approach into 33 left. Decision altitude is 216, by the way, just in case weather becomes more of a factor than we think it's going to be. Speed's creeping up on us. Over 300. I'm going to come all the way back almost to idle. We may have to, yeah, we're climbing a little, or descending a little too steeply as well. We're almost 2,500. Let's try to get that back to 2,000. That's kind of more manageable for my speed. There we go. Let's watch our speed. I like to keep our speed down around 250 if possible. Okay, we're 59 miles out. We should tune in Gardner. We actually went past that. Gardner is 110.7. I think before I do that, I'm going to get back to heading mode so we don't jump around here too much. 110.70. And we should be on a, yeah, we're going to be well south of our course here. We should be on a 298. Oh, Gardner, why are you not getting tuned in here? 298. Right there. Gardner. 110, oh, 110.6. There we go. Yeah, oh my, we're way south. Okay, we'll just flatten it out. We'll get turned and head east for a little bit, see if we can't pick that up. Oh, we only have 13 miles, so it might be kind of a tough one for us to pick up. We're outbound on 111 though, so I'm just going to do this. We screwed that up. There's 111, so that's the outbound course. If we could pick that up, I'd be happy. We're 11 miles will be right over the top of Gardner here in just a second. And 23,000. Yeah, we got a little bit of work to do here. Let's get that nose pointed back down. All right, there we go. Yeah, we picked it up better than I thought we would. Passing Laramie Regional. I've flown in there, man. Flown out of there too. That's probably the coldest I've ever been on an airplane. I flew out of there one morning. I was flying actually to go see my friend in South Bend, which we flew past Gipper. I'm wearing my Notre Dame t-shirt. I mean, it all comes full circle. But anyway, there was a plane out there. I don't know what it was. Probably like a Beech 1900 or something. You know, little commuter plane. And I remember thinking to myself, this is like a 5:30 in the morning flight or something, right? And it's winter time in Laramie, Wyoming. So it's cold. It's flipping cold. And I'm thinking to myself, surely they've got that thing plugged in. You know, they've got the heat going. I know the engines aren't going, but surely they're not going to expect us to step onto a freezing cold ice box. Nope, I was wrong. They literally fired it up. The captains got on before we did. There was they did a battery start. They didn't even plug an APU in, and it was just the heaters came on after 5 minutes after they started the engines up, and oh, that was freezing cold, man. That was miserable. That was a miserable trip down to. Luckily, it was pretty short. It was Laramie to Denver, so it couldn't have been a 45-minute flight, but oh, it was cold. I was so happy to get on that next plane. I don't remember what it was, but it was. All I remember is it was warm. Denver to Chicago, it was warm. All right, there's the outbound. We kind of overcorrected a little bit. We were south of it, and now we're north of it, but it's starting to come back in here. And we are just about, oh boy, we got 10 miles to go to Bronx, and we're going to be probably just a little bit high, it looks like. But again, I'm not super worried about that. We can extend that downwind. 299.5. Let's get that altimeter in there. Sounds like somebody was hitting up the chat here. Providence traffic, okay. That's okay. I think we're close enough. Boston traffic, United 307. We're descending 16,000 on the Gardner 4. We're going to be north of the airfield, making a right-hand traffic pattern for runway 33 left, Boston. All right. I'm not super picky about getting right on this outbound, honestly. We're just going to kind of be using the heading mode anyway. I do want to track this all the way out. This should say 49. When we get 49 out, that's when we know we're right over Revere, and at that point, then we will be on basically our downwind leg, and we'll start to tune everything in here. We ended up about 3,000 feet, maybe a little bit more, 4,000 feet too high. That's not good. After Revere, we'll start working our way down. We needed to be down to 4,000 feet. So we'll just start that descent, and we'll let our descent kind of determine our traffic pattern a little bit here as well. We'll try to get our speed under control. I want to get leveled out here at 11,000 and kind of get speed managed a little bit here as well. No, it was yeah, it was not a 737 that I took off from out of Laramie. I think it was a Beech 1900. So a little plane, which actually made it kind of nice because it heated up fairly quickly once we got going, but the whole no APU thing was a shock to the system. It was like when we got there.
67, heavy taking over runway 4 right, stock 5 departure.
4 right, oh my gosh. All right. Boston traffic, United 307. We are northwest of the airfield, approximately 7 miles at 11,000. So I think I might have to, if he's taking off, I'm going to change my plan here midstream. Boston traffic, Nat 307. We're going to be turning southbound here. We're going to enter a left-hand traffic pattern for one of the 4s, Boston. So it was a 3-3 left approach at one point. We could go ahead and we could pick up 4 left, 4 right, I guess. Let's see. ILS 4 right. Alright, speed is much better now. Let's get that kind of figured out here. So for 4 right, we're going to have to be down to 6,000. So we can get that dialed in. Let's keep our speed semi around 200. 110.3 is what we need here. 110.3. And this approach course is 035. So we'll make a little bit of an adjustment here, but it'll keep us out of the way of that outbound traffic. Let's fly direct on that downwind. Okay, we can... Hey, Goofball Geek. How are you, man? Trying to make my way into Boston right now. We've flown from, we've flown from Chicago down here, and we are a little bit blind at the moment. We've got anti-icing stuff turned on. We're going to turn the lights on and start our way down to 6,000. Boston traffic, United 307. We're descending through 10,000, making left traffic to ILS 4 right approach now for Boston. I guess we could, if they're taking off on the 4s, we could still come around and land on 3-3 left, but we might as well just shoot this one. Okay, we got to keep our speed down though. Should have tried to get in a notch of flaps before I started pointing the nose down. Maybe we can do that here. Everybody healthy in your household there, Goofball Geek? I'm hoping. You know, Ares, if it wasn't such terrible cell service, you should webcam up your truck, man, and do a live stream. Some of the country you get to see is probably incredible, unbelievable. Hey, there we go. We're through the muckety muck. That's a good thing. And if you're on the interstate, you probably have a pretty good shot of getting, you know, some decent cell coverage, even in Wyoming. Okay, down through 7,000. We'll get leveled off at 6, and then we'll make our turn back into Boston here. Okay, we didn't hear it, but I can see the blinking lights there. We're 1,000 to go. Managed to keep our speed at 250. That's still a bit high, but I can live with that. All right, there's 6,000. Well, it's hard to be away from extended family, but you know there's nothing you can do. It doesn't make it any easier though. I'm glad everybody's doing good in your world. I hope it's the same with all of you guys. Aries, Kenny, Dakota, everybody else has checked in here. Hope you're staying healthy, staying well, doing things to keep yourself in a good spot mentally. Boston traffic, United 307, turning left base, runway 4 right, Boston. There is our localizer, and we're just below the glide slope actually. Can you see the field? That's right where my Windows strut thing is. I think I could actually descend a little bit more here to 3,000. Let's do it. Speed's getting a little bit low anyway. Let's spin her forward. I'm going to put a notch of flaps in though, just to kind of keep us from getting too quick. Try to keep us below this line. So this line way up here is the localizer. This line here is actually the glide slope. So we're just a little below the glide. We want to make sure we stay below the glide. So we don't need to be crazy here. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's going 3-3 left. Okay. We're going to shallow this corner off a little bit here, just so we don't S-turn the intercept. And with any luck, we'll see the airfield here soon. Maybe it's just not popped in quite yet. Should just be right over there. Have to make sure that I got to go to, yeah, all the way over to ILS. 2 clicks to the right. Alright, speed's looking good. Altitude's not looking too bad. I'm definitely below the glide slope now. Coming up, should be getting close. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach. Kind of anticipating it maybe just a little bit, but that's okay. Beats having a bunch of S-turns. Yep, still not seeing the airfield just yet. We should be. What's Goshi here? Goshi's about 17 miles. So, should be seeing it. 1,000 to go for 3,000. There we go. There's the ILS localizer coming in. And we'll hold 3,000 as our altitude here, by the way. That's our climb out altitude. Speed's looking good. Boston traffic, United 307. We're established 04 right, long 15-mile approach here, 15-mile final Boston. Put a little power back in here. Okay, there's 3,000 feet. I'm looking for a ref speed of 135, by the way. Let's get rid of these two guys. And I'll pull one of them back out here to 135. All right. Kind of overshot just a little bit, you can see there. But second notch coming in here, 13 miles. We want to be fully configured at 7 miles. Sorry, fully configured no later than 4 miles. I'm starting to see some runway lights blinking at us here, so that's good. We are planning a flaps 35 landing. There's our runway. (11 DME). We'll go flaps 25 and we'll put the gear down. Boston traffic, United 307, 10-mile final, runway 4 right, Boston. Want to keep an eye out just in case someone's coming on the 3s. (10 miles and stable. There comes the final notch of flaps. We're on the glide. We'll let everything get stabilized here, and then we'll turn the autopilot off and see if we're able to set her down. Boy, it's a steep glide slope. Holy cow, over 1,000 feet per minute. Let's pull that power back a little bit. We're kind of quick right now. There we go. That's looking better. There's the auto marker. 7 miles. Fully configured gear, down 3 green, flaps full, landing lights are on. Now we're a little slow. comes our speed. Back up, there's ref speed. 6 miles, 5 miles. Alright, we're configured and stable. Let's see what happens now that I've got control. Yeah, reverser's out. Not doing a great job holding the center line. Yeah, that's better. Manual braking. We'll catch this next high speed. And welcome to Boston, everybody. We're off on Romeo. Boston traffic, United 307 clear of 4 right on Romeo, Boston. All right. Grandpa has control. We are in trouble. You are so right, GBG. There is no doubt about that. And the problem is I keep trying to take control like a little further away every time. And so, you know, if it's one thing to pick her up, you know, 500 foot out, but it's a whole other deal when you're trying to bring it in from 20 miles away, which I haven't done with this plane just yet. Although I did fly a full go around in traffic pattern by hand in the L1011 the other day, and I was proud of that. So that was a good flight. That was fun. Let's see about getting somewhere in here where we can actually park this baby. I have the ability here. Let's see if there's a gate. I think there's something in the Bravo terminal. I remember right. Yeah, at Bravo 4. I think we ought to just get a follow me taxi. We're United, but we'll take an American. Oh gosh, we're on. What are we doing? Oh, we're crossing a runway here. What are we doing? Boston traffic, United 307, getting ready to cross runway 4 left, Boston. I don't see anybody coming. We are way across the hold short threshold. Whoops, and I've screwed up. I'm actually... Uh-oh. Oh, I'm on a taxiway mic here. Okay, I'm okay. I'll come down here on mic down to Charlie. Boston traffic, United 307. We actually were able to make Mike. We're going to taxi Mike down to Charlie. We'll cross 31 right. Yeah, flying's the easy part. There's our the taxi guy with the follow me truck was able to find me. Is that hanging over my right shoulder what I use to keep the kids in line? No, that's a paddle actually off my dad's old boat. And come on, taxi truck, what'd I do? Run over you? What's the deal here, dude? Come on. I think I did. He was busy trying to get out of the way. There he goes. Sometimes I think the old taxi guy is more trouble than he's worth. But yeah, so I had to put that up, of course. Yeah, he didn't have to do a whole lot. My mom was kind of the iron fist of the house. He just kind of, you never wanted to make him mad, so you never even got close to pushing the line. But yeah, I got my butt whipped a few times growing up. I was kind of one of those kids. Boston traffic, United 307, crossing 31 right on Mike. Without a doubt, this is the best night lighting of any airport. Look at that night lighting. This is Fly Tampa, Boston. And it's a bit of a framey airport, but it is so beautiful at night. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm sure you had grandparents that were not afraid to give you a swat on the butt too if you needed it. Boston traffic, Guy 307 crossing 33 left on Mike, Boston. So, there's something to be said for that. And yeah, I was definitely a kid that needed that. All right, so we're turning. Are we following a runway? Oh my gosh, we're following a runway. No, we're not. This is Charlie. Boston traffic at 307 crossing 4 left on Delta. Nobody coming, thankfully. And then all the way around, I think all the way around to the south side of the airport here for us. Looks like he's taking us inside there on Alpha. All right, well, while we're taxiing in, let me just give you a little bit of a heads up on what's coming on the 20 for 20 celebration. If you're new to this stream, it's usually a GA propeller-driven stream, but we do sneak in the occasional vintage airliner. And I've also been doing a little celebration. To celebrate a year on Twitch. So I've picked my 10 favorite planes in P3D and my 10 favorite planes in X-Plane. And I've just been doing one stream a night. Tonight was the DC-8's turn. So it's been a lot of fun. Tomorrow, by the way, Wednesday the 15th, will be in the de Havilland Beaver from Milviz. Again, we'll be in P3D World. And we're going to be recreating a flight that we did back in April. It was the Fly the Gorge. I don't know if you remember that, but we flew down into, near the Portland area and landed at some sandbars and maybe even a few hilltops, mesas and things like that. So expect more shenanigans like that The route is not exactly the same, but we'll follow. It's roughly the same, even though it's kind of going in the opposite direction. But we'll be in the Beaver doing that tomorrow night. Then on Thursday, it's back over to the world of X-Plane. We'll be in the Thoranda Kodiak, and we'll be flying in a virtual USA Flying Club event, the Catalina Wine Mixer. David 4DW, hey man, how are you? Thanks for checking in. David 4DW, friend of the channel. Good to see him. Took me a few years to figure out my dad's razor strap could also be used on razors. Oh, David, now you messed up my momentum I had on my outro here. So anyway, Kodiak, we'll be flying through the LA Class Bravo and out to Catalina, as the title, the Catalina Wine Mixer title implies. On Friday, we'll be in the Zebo, still in X-Plane, and we're going to be trying to do, maybe coming back into here. It's Boston Virtual is hosting Friday Night Ops. We may or may not be coming in here. It just depends on how slam they are. And anyway, but that's Friday, and then Saturday over to the P3D world. One last time, it's the Fly Simware Falcon 50, Dassault Falcon 50. We'll be doing an event down near Atlanta for that. Saturday the 19th, we'll be in the Airfoil Labs King Air 350. There's an event happening out in Wisconsin. And then the last night, the 20th, is Moncton Monday. And the aircraft, I'm going to debut a new aircraft and also give away a $25 xplane.org gift certificate to a random winner. And so hopefully you'll be able to tune in and tune in and be a part of that. The entire celebration, the entire series here is meant to be a way for me to say thanks to you guys for hanging out with me for a year and making it so much fun to fly into and out of these places in these planes. Sorry, I thought you turned on me there. Follow me, taxi. So, yep, GBG, I'm 51, so I'm right there in the same age category as you, basically, and yeah, more and more I just want people to get off my lawn. All right, where are you taking? He's taking me back here to like where Freddy Krueger hangs out or something. Holy cow, the only place in the entire airport that's not well lit. I think I see our guys though over here. Very nice. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. All right, I'll even be nice. Let's turn the landing lights off if I can find the click spot. And yeah, I think we can find our way in here. We need to turn the weather radar thing off as well. And yeah, there we go. Guy up on the ladder bringing us in, saying you guys are going plenty fast, please slow down. Boy, I'm jumpy, choppy with the frames here. That ought to work. That ought to work. All right, like I say, welcome to Boston. As I was saying, that Monday is the time for the celebration. New aircraft being debuted, and Moncton Monday, one of my favorite reoccurring events of all times. All right, I think for me, that's going to just about do it. That's beautiful, isn't it? Telling you what, this airfield is super well done. Let's see. Do we have somebody we can go raid here? Who's flying some GA stuff? We do have Bill Forley out there. He's flying some GA stuff. We have Live Fly Guy. We have John Fly. You know, we haven't seen Live Fly Guy here in a little while. Let's go raid that youngster. So stay tuned. Let's take all 10 of us over there. I'll do the outro really quickly, and I will see you guys all tomorrow night. Take care. God bless.